Peace and blessings be upon you. You know, have you ever wondered if there's a direct line connecting what we believe about the universe to, say, how we should treat our family? Well, today, we're diving into a really profound ethical roadmap that does exactly that. It links our deepest faith to our daily duties. Let's trace this path together.
So this is the core question, right? How do you get from a huge, abstract belief all the way down to a concrete, everyday action? This explainer breaks down a framework that maps out that exact journey, from the biggest questions of existence to the practical details of our lives.
Everything, and I mean everything, begins with this fundamental fork in the road. The framework presents us with an ultimate choice that really defines the purpose of everything that follows. Is your focus on this temporary world, or is it on the eternal one to come? Every single action is then weighed against this decision.
And wow, the contrast couldn't be clearer. If your goal is simply the adornments of this world, this guide says you get your full reward right here in this life. But if you're striving for the hereafter as a believer, your efforts are measured on a completely different scale, with a promise of an immense reward. It all boils down to your ultimate intention. Now, to really grasp this, we have to understand this key term, akhirah. This isn't just some vague afterlife. In this ethical system, the akhirah is the ultimate reality. It's the eternal existence that becomes the core motivation for every good and just action you take in this temporary world. And this beautifully illustrates the promised destination for those who choose that path. It's described as a place of ultimate peace and contentment, the reward for a righteous life, which, of course, makes you wonder, yep, exactly. If that's the final destination, what's the very first step on the path? Where does this entire ethical system actually begin? Well, it turns out that this entire complex structure of social and family ethics is built on one single guiding principle.
This is it. This is the absolute non-negotiable starting point. Before any talk of kindness or charity or family, this framework establishes one decree as the unshakable center of gravity for everything else. It's the bedrock of the entire worldview. This core principle is called Tawheed, the absolute oneness of God. And the text is crystal clear. Its opposite, shirk, or associating partners with God, is seen as the ultimate injustice. So by extension, this makes Tawheed the ultimate foundation for all justice.
And this is where it gets absolutely fascinating. What do you think is the very next command after establishing the single most important principle of faith? It's not about ritual, it's not about state law, it's about how you treat your parents. The line from worshiping God alone to honoring your parents is drawn immediately, and that makes it incredibly powerful. And we're not just talking about, basic care. The specific word used is ihsan. This is a really profound concept that means striving for excellence. It elevates the duty beyond just being good to actively pursuing the most beautiful, kind, and respectful treatment you can possibly imagine. And just look at how practical this gets. This isn't some vague suggestion. It starts with your words, don't show even the slightest hint of annoyance, not even an uff. Instead, you're told to use noble words. Then it moves to your posture, using this beautiful metaphor of lowering the wing of humility to show gentleness and respect. From there, it moves to compassion, and finally, to prayer. And that prayer, wow, it culminates in this deeply moving request. It directly connects our current duty to our parents all the way back to our own past when we were small and completely dependent on them. You are literally asking God to show them the same mercy they showed you. It's a beautiful, full-circle act of empathy and remembrance. Okay, so from that incredibly personal core of the parent-child relationship, the framework then immediately starts to zoom out. The principle of care and giving doesn't just stop at your front door. You can almost see the logic building here, like ripples in a pond. The responsibility flows from parents to the extended family, then to the most vulnerable in society, the poor, and even to the stranger in need, the traveler. It creates this whole web of social responsibility. And notice that critical warning attached to it. This generosity has to be balanced. It is a command to give, but it's also a prohibition against wastefulness and extravagance. So, we've traced the path from the ultimate goal to the core belief to its practical application in society. And the framework concludes by bringing the focus right back to where it all starts, our inner self.
This is such a deeply compassionate and reassuring point. It acknowledges that we're all human, we're not perfect. The framework recognizes that what matters most is our internal state, our intentions. The ultimate goal is to be sincerely righteous. And for those who are truly trying, who are obedient and repentant, there is forgiveness.
And so, we're left with this final, really reflective question. It isn't just about belief, it's about constant awareness. If you lived with the certainty that your deepest intentions were as visible as your actions, how would that change, well, everything? It's a powerful thought to carry with you.